It is peak corn season, so of course we have to make some delicious corn-filled recipes. We're going to start off with this amazing summer corn and veggie cornbread casserole. It is so good. So to start off, we just need a big pan that is oven safe and good for the stove. I'm going to add some oil into there. I'm just using plain olive oil, and I'm going to put this on the stove to start preheating over a low heat. In the meantime, I'm going to chop up one zucchini. Of course, zucchini is in season right now as well. This can be a rough chop. It doesn't have to be super small. I just like to first start by cutting it into circles, and then I will take those circles, I'll take a few of them at a time, and I'll stack them on top of each other and cut them either into quarters or six or even eights, depending on how big the circle is. And then after I chop them up, I'll give them all like one more final chop, and I'm just going to keep adding everything into that pan while I'm chopping ingredients. Now we're going to use some fresh corn. I accidentally bought white corn. I didn't realize it was white corn, and it was so good. It was so sweet, so delicious. So for all these recipes, I am just using ears of fresh, sweet white corn, and I'm going to chop it off of the cob. Of course, you can always substitute for frozen or canned if it's not corn season, but using the fresh is really good. And I'm just trying to get out any of those little stringy bits. Also, you can always save the cob and use it to make a broth. Really good. Okay, so in the meantime, I'm going to chop up one shallot. You could also use an onion. I just felt like using a shallot. I feel like I don't utilize shallots enough, so I was excited to use a shallot. Again, everything's got a rough chop on it. And then I'm going to do some garlic as well. You can add as much or as little garlic as you like. 2 cloves of garlic is a good amount for this recipe, I think, but if you like things super garlicky, add more garlic. And then we're just going to cook this all on the stove. I'm going to add a little bit of salt and pepper to it while it cooks. And again, just like 7 to 10 minutes. We're just starting the cooking process. We want those shallots to turn translucent, and this is over a medium-low heat now at this point once I have all the ingredients in there. I'm also going to add a can of drained chickpeas just to add more body to this and add a little protein as well. And then the last thing I'm going to do for this part of the recipe is I want to make a little flour slurry. So I'm taking some all-purpose flour. I'm going to mix water with it and whisk that up. This will help to thicken all those veggies up and just make a nice sort of filling underneath our cornbread layer. So just pour this over top of the veggies, mix it all in, and that's really it. Nothing fancy is happening here. It's just kind of like how when you make a pot pie, you want there to be a little bit of like a filling mix going on. Okay, now we're going to take some non-dairy milk. I'm using almond milk. Normally I do like to use a higher protein milk to curdle better, but we're going to mix that with apple cider vinegar to make a vegan buttermilk. We're also going to mix our vegan egg replacer with water. I'm using Bob's Red Mill. You could also sub in a flax egg, a chia egg. Now for our dry ingredients, we have flour, cornmeal, baking powder, sugar, and a little bit of salt. We'll whisk up our dry ingredients. Then we're going to add in that almond milk and the egg replacer and some vegetable oil, and then we will just mix this up, and this is going to make a delicious cornbread topping. Now this is good all on its own, but if you want to be a little bit fancy, add in a little extra maple syrup and a little vanilla extract. It just overall enhances the flavor of the cornbread so much, and it's so good. And then all we have to do is pour this over top of our veggies, and then we're going to pop this in the oven 350 Fahrenheit for about 25 minutes until it is nice and golden and a toothpick comes out clean. And oh my goodness, this recipe was so good. Like, I had this idea in my head and I didn't know if it was going to work out the way I wanted it to, and I really loved it. It's such a great way to utilize summer veggies, make something really delicious and seasonal, and it's just really perfect, I think, for the end of summer. And then just to garnish it a little bit, I chopped up some fresh parsley and green onions, and that's really it. I didn't want to add too much to it because there's so much flavor from all of these veggies that are in there, and it just looks so beautiful. This is really great to have on the side of tofu or some sort of vegan protein because we have our carbs and veggies in here. We got a lot of micronutrients. We have a little bit of fat from the oil, so it's a really great side dish. And then you can just cut a piece out and just look at how good that looks. The cornbread on top with those veggies underneath is seriously just too good. You need to make this one. I haven't made tacos in so long, and these crispy corn and tofu tacos were amazing. So I'm starting by taking a block of tofu. You can use either extra firm, super firm, or I'm using fava bean tofu. And we're just gonna crumble this into little pieces with our hands. We're gonna make this kind of like a tofu taco meat, and Yeah, super simple. And then we have a bunch of seasonings. So we're going to add some oil into our pan. Then we're going to add the tofu. And then we're going in with garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, chili powder, cinnamon, and salt. We're going to add that on top of our tofu, mix it up, and then let this cook on the stove for about 7 to 10 minutes, 12 minutes until it turns nice and crispy over a medium low to medium high heat depending on your stove. Now I have 2 ears of corn that I already cooked and boiled. This is the white sweet corn, and as it cooks it actually turns more yellow in color, so that's kind of cool as well. And I'm just taking my knife and cutting down. I really like these nice big strips of the corn that we get here. And again, if you are out of season, use fresh corn, frozen corn, canned corn, doesn't matter. Use any corn that you have access to. And I'm just going to make these kind of big nuggety chunks. They're so good. Our tofu is all done. And by the way, this tofu was amazing. It's so delicious. It has so much flavor. Then I have some little tortillas and I'm just going to make some little tacos. So I have some Colby Jack vegan cheese. Then we're going to add a few pieces of the corn, and then we're going to add a little spoonful of our little tofu taco meat, and then we will just fold it over. You will most likely have leftovers of the taco meat and the corn, which to me wasn't a big deal because you could just eat it on its own. You can make more tacos if you want. So whatever you want to do, it's your choice. But yeah, super simple, super easy. Now in a pan, we're going to heat up some oil, and then we are going to cook our little tacos. I really like when they get that nice golden crispiness on the outside. It helps the vegan cheese to melt. Some of your filling might come out. It happens. It's okay. If it does, just kind of push it back in there and just cook them on each side for about 5 minutes over a medium heat until they turn nice and golden like how they look here. And then when it is time to plate, I just wanted to put them all on a plate. I just love how they always look all together. I think they are so beautiful, and seriously, the flavor combination here was amazing. As always, all these recipes are on my blog and in the written description box down below as well. So I'm just taking some of that extra corn and tofu taco meat and kind of sprinkling it over top, just making it look fancy. I bought some watermelon radish at the food store and I was so excited, so I chopped that up and put that on there, some green onions. And that's it. This is so beautiful, so delicious. It's a great way to enjoy that beautiful summer corn, and these heat up really well the next day or the day after. Pair it with some vegan sour cream or vegan yogurt, and they're so good. Absolutely delicious. And look at this melty goodness inside. Look at that. Amazing. This is the Vile Life, the Colby Jack. I really love using veggies and tofu to make creamy sauces, so I knew we had to make a creamy corn sauce. So this is just more corn that is cooked, cut off the cob. It is the white sweet corn, and I just have 2 cobs worth here. We're going to add in some roughly chopped garlic, roughly chopped onion, and some cubed tofu, adding in non-dairy milk and a little bit of water, just because I didn't have enough non-dairy milk to make a cup of non-dairy milk. And I'm just going to let this cook over a medium low heat for about 15 to 20 minutes until everything is softened. Because my corn was already pre-cooked in this situation, I wasn't worrying about that. I just wanted the onions and everything to cook. Then we're going to add it into a blender, and we will blend on high for about 1 to 2 minutes, depending on your blender. And just blend. It'll get nice and thick. If you feel it's too thick and you want to add in a little bit of water, you can. But look at that consistency. It looks amazing. We're going to add in a little bit of salt to taste. And you can also add in a little bit of agave or maple syrup if you want to enhance the overall sweetness, but you definitely don't have to. And now our sauce is done. You can transfer this into a jar or a container. I like to get out as much as I can, and then I add a little bit more water back into the blender just to kind of get those little bits I can't get. Then I just swirl it around and I pour that into my jar, and then we can pour this over some cooked pasta, or you can store it, whatever you want to do with it. Mix it up, and this sauce was so delicious. It's so creamy and so good, and I love that you're getting in some sneaky protein with the tofu here. I'm using super firm tofu, but you can also use an extra firm or a firm if you like that better. And then we can plate it up, just add a little fresh corn on top. You could add some fresh basil if you like, and it looks so good. And I'm adding some vegan Parmesan cheese on top too, because we need that. The Follow Your Heart one is really good. And yeah, these were our delicious corn-filled recipes. I hope you enjoyed them. I hope you found them helpful. As always, the full recipe is on plantfullybasedblog.com. Everything you want to know is in the description box down below, so be sure to check that out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for being here. Let me know if you try any of these out. I love to hear back from you all. And yeah, enjoy corn season, enjoy the end of summer, and I will see you soon with more recipes. Bye!